The remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street was released in 2010 and was directed by Samuel Bayer, who's best known for his work on music videos. The film stars Rooney Mara, Katie Cassidy, and Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy Krueger. One of my all-time favorite horror films is A Nightmare on Elm Street, so when this film was released in theaters, I was cautiously optimistic. After I left the theater, I was really let down. This film is an utter mess, and considering the budget was $35 million, I really don't know where that money went because the special effects are pretty bad in this film. All the CGI is dated and pretty damn awful, and Rooney Mara just seems checked out. On the other hand, you have Katie Cassidy, who's really into the role, and I was disappointed that she wasn't our lead. And while this is a remake slash reboot, I was hoping that they would try to do something a little bit different with the story or try to put their own spin on it, but really it just followed the same plot beats, especially once Katie Cassidy's character is knocked off. I feel like it was a huge mistake to hire director Samuel Bayer to direct this film. Just because the dude can do music videos doesn't mean that it's going to translate to screen. Not everyone is a David Fincher. Rewatching this film for this review, it was a slog and a chore to get through. There's no personality. The film is super bright and glossy. There's no sense of dread. There's no suspense. It's full of lame jump scares. The characters are uninteresting, and I felt like the overall pacing was just really bad. All the actors besides Katie Cassidy had no charisma. The dream sequences for the most part are pretty lame. Some of the boiler room stuff is cool, but these effects have not aged well. There seemed to be not much of a usage of practical effects, and the film seemed to rely a lot more on CGI. And then there's the look of Krueger. I hate how he looks in this film. He's not able to show any kind of real expression on his face. He talks monotone. He walks like he's got a stick up his ass. There's no personality to the character. He's just this monotone bad guy, and it's not Freddy Krueger. And speaking of Krueger, how they redid the backstory is horseshit. What I appreciate about the original film was that it was implied that he was a child predator. They definitely dialed that back in the original film, but in this film, they made that front and center. And they even had a point in the film where Quentin and Nancy think that somehow they made up these stories of them being molested by Krueger as little kids at the preschool. Come to find out, oh wait, no, he actually is a bad guy. He did all these things. And I hated that. I hated that so much because it feels so half-assed. It's so blatant that it's a cash grab. This is a soulless film, and to know that they didn't even talk to Wes Craven before they made this film shows a blatant disrespect. There are only two things I like about this film. One is Katie Cassidy, and they killed her off way too soon. She should have been the lead. And the second thing I like is the micronaps. That was an interesting idea, but it wasn't used to its full potential. Overall, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 is a shitty fucking film. I hate this movie with a passion. Obviously, this is a skip it. Fuck this movie. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to support the channel even more, check out my Patreon page. Link down in the description below. Thank you so much for coming by, and I'll see you guys on the next video.